Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dad Bods and Bad Attitudes. We are your hosts. I'm Christopher Samela. He is Mark Davis. Just a couple middle-aged white dudes with some guitars, dad bods, bad attitudes, and a whole lot of fire for what's going on in the world. And we're going to get right into the show and talk about the Trumpstein cover-up, Joe Rogan, and a whole lot of other things right after we hit this intro. Mark, let's get into it. You have
Let's
some
go.
updates for us on the campaign trail. Let's get right into it. I turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. So, just a couple updates. I officially have my campaign website live. So, if you just go to markdavisforcongress.com, yes, sir, markdavisforcongress.com, and you can sign up. You can sign up to volunteer. You can donate. Um, but the amazing thing about this, and this is again, I'm not even doing the work, Chris. I just asked, I demanded of the universe. I said, this is the problem. I just want to bend democracy back towards normalcy. I said that from the beginning, right?
Yep.
And there's nothing in the way of me doing this. And I'm going to win. I'm going to win Congress. I'm going to win a seat in Florida District 6. And we're going to dominate. Blue is just going to take over. And that's my vision. And it's already done, in my opinion. And I'm just showing up swinging the bat.
That's it.
Okay.
You're
So,
manifesting.
manifesting. But my name is very freaking common, right? Mark Davis. It doesn't get
Yep.
much more boring or common than that. I
No,
like it. It's a good name. It's a decent name.
it's
But
solid.
it's Mark Davis, right? And there was no way that Mark Davis for Congress was going to be available. And sure enough, Mark Davis for Congress was available. I didn't have to buy it from somebody. I think it was like $15 right off of GoDaddy.com. So Mark Davis for Congress. How do you beat that?
So let's be clear.
Hmm.
The website is markdavisforcongress.com.
Yes, yes.
Did
So
I
if
get
there's
that right?
any confusion, yes, if there's any confusion, it's my first name, last name for Congress.com. So Mark Davis for Congress.com. We lost you, Chris. I don't see you. There you are. All right. You're
Don't
back.
don't worry about those technological differences, as they said in the movie Idiocracy, which
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
is
You made me
eminently
scared.
quotable in today's times. Anytime you can reference Idiocracy, you should go ahead and do it because we are living through it.
Yes, we
Mark,
are very much so.
what is our first topic up for bid today?
Well, so there's a few things I want to get into, but just before we dive into the
Hmm.
meat and potatoes here, a couple cool things happened while you were at work, and I was trying to save the world here in my house. But
Right.
Don Lemon, he shared one of my
Okay.
videos today. So that was super cool on Threads, and that's getting a few thousand shares and likes, and I think it's up to a couple 100,000 views right now. So that's
Very
super
good.
cool. Love Don Lemon. So if Don Lemon, if you are watching this and you want to talk about that video you shared of me yelling at Ron DeSantis and the Secret Service that
That's
came to
Ron
my
the
house.
fascist, Mark. That's
Sorry,
Ron the fascist. Get it
Ron
right.
DeFascist. Yes, Ron DeFascist. If you want to talk about that moment, and then about a week later, Secret Service came out. So we have a lot to talk about. But I'd be more than willing to sit down with Don Lemon. And then I was on hold on the Howard Stern show for about an hour today while I was doing other things, and I was
That's
trying to get
fairly
on
typical.
to trying to get onto their show, talk to Howard about the Ron DeSantis moment because he was one of the first people I thought about right after I did it. I was like, man, Howard would freaking love this story. So
No doubt.
wasn't been able to get on there. So Howard, if you are watching this, man, I want to talk to you too. But and then there's two people that I want to call out that are some really good warriors on Threads. Okay, and
Cool.
Threads is my home ground. That's my base. That's where I do most of my keyboard warring. But
Well, let's hear
Jolly
it.
Good Ginger.
Okay.
Okay, I don't. I think you follow him, right?
Yeah. You turned
Okay.
me on to that dude. He seems like a good dude. He's got a great beard. He's got good
Yeah.
hair. I like
Yeah.
those things. Oh, and yes, he's pro-democracy, anti-fascist. So we like
Hmm.
those things as well. So Jolly Good Ginger, cheers to you,
Yeah.
my brother. Excellent hair situation from top to bottom. And also, we appreciate you fighting for democracy. Who's
Yes.
the other one?
Well, Jolly Good Ginger, just you got to go back and like read his story, man. Like he started off in a household that was very racist. He was racist, I believe he says at one point, and then he just saw the light, and now he's out there in Washington D.C. on the streets and trying to save democracy. So a pretty cool story with that guy. And
Yeah,
then
awesome.
Stone Kettle. Stone Kettle is another one. I really enjoy his perspective. It looks like I don't know much about him, but he looks like he's a photographer and
Okay.
has a pretty large following on Instagram for photography. But he spouts out on threads about what he sees and how this country is kind of burning right now. And those are just two warriors I saw out there. I just really wanted to call out. So,
Dude, I think it's awesome that you did that. I mean, I've been thinking about how you're seeing out there right now, there are people across America that are not waiting for anyone to tell them what to do. They're
hmm
just starting stuff up and they're just getting it going. And they're fighting back against this fascist regime that's in Washington right now. And make no mistake, I've said it before, I've said it again, and I'm going to keep saying it. They are fascists. I've been saying Donald Trump's a fascist for 10 years. When you go out and you say, I can shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and not lose any voters, which is what he said, you think like a fascist. So
hmm
I'm glad other people are catching up to what I've been saying for 10 years. He's a fascist. We need to say he's a fascist. We need to treat him like a fascist. And these guys that you brought up, they feel the same way. There are people coast to coast, literally
hmm
from Maine to Los Angeles, that I've seen that are taking it to these fascists. When you see these ICE raids, capturing them on camera, challenging them, when you see these the National Guardsmen out there, unfortunately for them, being used as political pawns, but people making the point, saying, "How do you feel about being out here picking up trash instead of uh, working in defense of your country?" Or if you're in the National Guard, I mean, you might be, back home doing something else some of the time, right? So, but these people are out there, uh, you know, picking up trash is what we've seen in D.C., and they want to bring them out elsewhere too. So, I think it's great that regular Americans are ready to fight back against this fascist regime. Mark, what
for
else you
sure.
got? Let's go on to that next
Um,
topic you had.
Well, that made me think of a couple other people like Attorney
Oh,
Ryan.
okay.
Attorney Ryan, he's out there in California. He's making a lot of noise, but I was just kind of looking through my phone here. Professor Galloway, I think he's out there.
Oh, yep.
And
I've seen him.
yeah. But anyway, super cool to see all these voices out there and people starting to come together. So,
Yep.
um, so I want to one more plug here. Can you see
You
my
are
shirt?
entitled, my brother.
All right, you see my shirt?
That says, I believe that shirt says Mad Dog Dems right on
All
it,
right.
right on that
Yeah, I don't know
sweater.
if you can see it because the resolution's not good enough or not,
Oh,
but
no, 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 no. Au contraire, mon frere.
okay,
That shit is
okay.
money.
All right. So maddoggames.com. It's I don't know what it's like on your side of the town on your side of Florida, but it's been
Uh huh.
really gloomy here and rainy and shitty here and
Okay.
kind of cold. So taking the opportunity to wear my Mad Dog Dims hoodie, but
Hold up.
maddogdims.com.
Did you
What?
say it was kind of cold in
Uh,
Florida in
I
September?
mean, yeah, sure.
You mean it
Kind of.
was 89 and not 90?
Yeah, it wasn't 100 degrees. If it's below 100 degrees,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
feeling pretty good,
Okay.
really. So,
Cool.
but yeah, but anyway, maddogdims.com. You can find that's kind of a home base too, where you can find uh,
Absolutely.
our podcast, Dad Bods podcast, and then you can also go to Mark Davis for Congress there as well. So maddogdims.com. I always suggest go to maddogdims.com. Everybody go there first. We want to
Great
expand that someday.
promoing. Listen,
Yeah.
Mark's doing it really well, guys. You get maddogdems.com, maddogdems.com, maddogdems.com,
Yep.
markdavisforcongress.com times
Uh-huh.
three. You just keep saying that shit, and it just seeps into people's brains.
Yeah.
That's branding 101 for you.
I think it all sounds good. Mark Davis for Congress, Mad Dog Dims, Dad Bods podcast. It's
We're
just all
marketing
working.
geniuses, okay?
It's
Let's just
working.
be
It's
honest.
working. Love it.
We're
Love it.
working it.
All right, so enough of the plugging. I might have to take
Yeah.
this off because I'm getting pretty hot, to be
Are you?
honest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I might take it off here in a
So
minute.
for all, let's use this opportunity to plug some more. For all you Northerners, when you need something to wear in the wintertime and, October, November, December, this guy's thick ass Mad Dog Dem sweater is for you. That's the
Yes,
choice. Make the call. Go to the website, maddogdems.com. Get this thick ass sweater for when it's about to sleet and snow on your ass up there in Boston or New York or wherever the hell you are.
yes. Or Wisconsin. That's where I spent 10 years in Wisconsin, so Wisconsin, we
Okay.
got
Shout
climate
outs
up
to
there. So,
Wisconsin. Shout outs to Indiana and all the rest of the Northerners.
all right. All right. So let's dig into it. So you allude to it at the introduction. Fucking Joe Rogan. He's something that
Hmm.
has really been fucking pissing me off lately. And I want to apologize for the last episode because my wife told me I said the F word too many times. So I'm going to try to reduce the amount of times that I said the F word. All right. Don't.
Well, why don't
I'm
we
not going to think
not
about
and
it. But
say that we
anyway,
did?
fuck Joe Rogan. This guy is fucking crazy. But anyway, I sent a post out last week or earlier this week, and it got like a bunch of views and comments. But it said Joe Rogan. The Joe Rogan experience is basically just Fox News with a bong, and just I was
That's
researching
it,
Joe
man.
Rogan. I was going through his videos. I was trying to cue on some stuff for us to help make us look better. But I think we already look better than him, to be honest. And I'm not even sure there's anything that we could steal from him,
Yeah,
unless we want to go and fucking shave our heads or something. But I
we
don't
ain't
know,
doing that.
man. I felt literally like I was watching Fox News, and it was sad. And everything that he talked about, everything that he said, just really lined up. But then he would go off base on and they would go smoke a blunt or something, and then they'd go do shrooms or something. And then they come back and talk about something weird. But the thing is, that's pulling a certain type of audience in there, and then they poison this audience with all this Fox News bullshit. So
Yeah.
I wanted to boil Joe Rogan's show down to a point that everybody could swallow it, like super fucking bite size. And that's my opinion that the Joe Rogan experience is Fox News with a fucking bong. And that's our competition.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think what you mean by that because I think we have 100 or 200 or 300 listeners. We got to get that up a little bit, and
Yeah.
then a little bit more of a competition for Joe. But I think from the standpoint of philosophically, um, yes, competition because he's a guy that he's got a lot of opinions. He likes to say that he's a critical thinker and open-minded and all this, and then he brings on people that have just utter horseshit to say, or he's the guy that will say, "I'm just putting it out there for consideration," and then he will float ideas that are scientifically disproven, known to be complete bullshit by anybody with any ability to critically think, or he'll have these people that are fraudulent experts in these fields. Then he'll have actual experts on his show and he'll argue with them, and which
Hmm.
is all right. I mean, you should challenge ideas, but like that person is an expert in their field, and he will dismiss the things that they're saying as though they're on the fringe.
But
That's
but
just
you're
not
I
true.
mean, then you're talking about the people that actually pay attention to his like full episodes, right? You're
Mhm.
talking people that paid attention to the episode where he said some crazy shit, and then the next episode where he brought on a doctor that
Yeah,
debunked all the crazy shit that he just said.
yeah.
But you have to follow that chronologically, or it doesn't make sense. But the problem is Joe Rogan chops all these fucking videos up, and they all get all blasted out in his
Yeah,
his
that's right.
podcast is obviously super popular, but those chopped up videos are 10 times more popular than his podcast. So all those previous episodes where you're saying that vaccines will make you grow a fucking tail, those get chopped up and spread all over the place, and then that's the fucking truth. Right?
Right.
And then nobody else gets to hear the other side. And Joe Rogan doesn't try to fix it. He doesn't see that you have
Trying to
something
correct the
going.
record.
He's not trying to correct it. He doesn't
Yeah,
see that these are going viral and just say, whoa, whoa, guys, wait a minute. Stop clicking on that video because I was actually corrected in the he doesn't have his finger on the pulse like that on the
I don't think that
reality
he
of how
cares.
people are being impacted in everyday lives. He's
To
just
me,
doing it to get rich.
yeah. Well, let me say a couple things about the guy because I generally don't have a strong opinion about him one way or the other in terms of who he is as a person.
Hmm.
I see what he's created on his show, and he's been at this a while, and he's had one of the largest podcasts for many years at this point, and he's been incredibly influential. And there's two comments I'd like to make, which is to the point you just made about he doesn't correct the record. So he'll have someone on the show, or he'll just say something. I was going to say he has someone on the show that peddles in conspiracy theories, or he himself will peddle a conspiracy theory. So he does that, and when that's debunked, he does not correct the record 99 out of 100 times. He does not come
Hmm.
back the next episode and say he was wrong about something. He just doesn't do that. I want you to consider that right now he's considered a form of mass media. His
Hmm.
podcast has such reach, it's like mass media. If you did that historically in a newspaper, you would have to write a retraction or a correction in the next issue of your newspaper. If you were doing
Hmm.
the nightly news and you said some bullshit that was proven to be incorrect, you would have to come back on the news the next night and correct the record. He is not under any obligation to do so. And mind you, all of those traditional forms of media are dying. They are
Right.
fucking dying right now as we speak. Newspapers, it goes without saying, don't even need to belabor the point. Evening news, traditionally very unbiased, impartial. Fewer and fewer people are watching it each and every year. Younger people have not grown up with that as though they were, it was really part of their lifestyle, like their parents. And so there's not even an attachment to it to come back to it and watch the news at night or whatever and watch it in that unbiased, non cable news
With more
presentation.
context, right? Yeah.
Right, like it's not it's not put through the lens of cable news, a la Fox News, CNN, or anything else for that matter. It's just presented. If you were to watch, Diane Sawyer, Dan Rather, David Muir, some of these folks that have done this over the years. Generally, those programs are very unbiased, impartial, and they do a very good job. But they are less popular and less viewed than they have
Yeah.
ever been. And as I said, newspapers, it goes without saying. So
Man, we
you
could.
go on and on.
I
Filling the
mean, no, I mean
void.
that's such a great subject. I'm actually going to make a note of that.
Well,
To
and the
bring
point
that.
I want to make for the viewers, Mark, is just that the void is getting filled with unproven, unvetted, unvarnished bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay? Joe Rogan is not an authority on anything other than being short, bald, and muscly. Maybe funny at one
But
point in his life. I'm not entirely sure about that.
so
So that's what he
the
knows.
reason I want to dive into this at some point with you, Chris, is because you can spin it off into a couple different things. And I've always been the type of person that said when there's something wrong, I don't want to blame somebody else for that being wrong. I want to
Yeah.
say, what did I do wrong to cause that to be wrong? Even if I didn't have anything to do with it, right?
Okay, fair.
Is there something that I could have changed to fix that? Okay. So we saw Joe Rogan, and I remember having conversations with friends and saying, "Hey, what he's saying isn't right." And I hear you repeating a lot of things that are been completely debunked, and you just keep plowing through it, and you're not listening. I remember saying that, and I remember it just kind of metastasized to a point where you couldn't penetrate it anymore. So everybody saw it coming. Everybody knew it was there. And it was like that ugly thing that, oh, I don't really want to talk about. I don't want to necessarily say Joe Rogan's bad because then I'm going to look bad because he's kind of in the middle. He's kind of not. But I was always the one that said, no, something's happening here. Something's bad. Something bad is happening. People are grabbing onto everything this guy's saying. This guy's not a professional. This guy's an idiot. In all, I'm not. I don't know anything about him. Everything I've seen about him is like fucking eating cockroaches and shit. I don't know. Is he a fucking idiot? I don't
Yeah.
know. He might be a fucking
Apparently, fear
idiot.
is not a factor for you,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
use his old tagline from his old show.
But we saw it coming. So why didn't we do anything about it? Why didn't we counter that with something? Why didn't CNN become more mobile? Why didn't they become more fluid to be able to react quicker and get news out? Why didn't they counter these fake news, and why didn't they do
Yeah.
different things a little bit better? Right? And I can put the blame right back on us, on Democrats, on for not pointing at it and laughing at it as soon as it pops up. And that's why I make a big deal. When you see fascism, point at it, laugh at it, and scare it away. It's not okay when it shows its fucking head from
Yeah.
now on,
Belittle it.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, let me make a point just about what you just said, because I think it's very poignant when it comes to why did he get so popular, and why is he so popular. I don't know that I can answer that question, but whatever damage this guy has done, and it is considerable, is not entirely his fault, because the guy's an entertainer. That's
yep,
what he did. He was a comedian. He hosted a show. He was involved in broadcasting fights. He's an entertainer.
yeah,
Why are we putting all this stock in what this guy says? You know that when Fox News went to court and had to prove that they were news, they didn't even bother. They said, we're entertainment. We're not trying to
yeah,
give you fair and balanced news. And they had to do away with using the term fair and balanced, which, by the way, their audience didn't even want to see that. The Fox News
right,
audience didn't want to see fair and balanced. They wanted to see their perspective mutated in cable news and spat back out. So
yep,
Joe Rogan fits that bill, entertainment. And
yep,
then they watch this entertainment, they get so sucked in and engrossed with it that they feel as though that somehow that now is a real position, or that these are real facts that are being presented, whether it's about vaccines or 5G or the pyramids or anything else, right? That a lot of this shit is complete bullshit, has been debunked many times over, the things that he has on his programs. But why are
yep.
we giving him that? So you talked about the Democrats and their or left wing media, whatever characterization you want to make. The American people. Why are the American people sinking this much belief into Joe Rogan, a comedian who has a podcast and has guys like the ancient alien dude on it because aliens?
I mean,
That's
that's,
his show, dude. Let him
yeah.
talk the stupid bullshit. Get entertained. Like I put on those stupid shows with the fucking ancient aliens, and it's a laugh fucking fest. I mean, it's
But,
hilarious.
but I would argue, I mean, I agree with 100% what you're saying, right? But I would almost argue that that's what they want. That's what the American people want. So
Okay,
why not give it to them, right? So,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why we can't put all the blame on Joe?
right, no, no, right. But I mean, do you
So
put
what?
the blame on the, how do you, I mean, how do you put the blame on the American people? You do just say the blame is ourselves. We're blaming ourselves. Like it's, it's, it's almost like the left and the right, they're just jumping on marketing bandwagons, right? And we've realized the right, it will go so far to put all their chips in the wagon of a pedophile, and they'll ride it all the way to victory. We've never witnessed anything like that, but they're willing to go that far, right? So
Yeah,
we need to start fighting fire with fire. And whether that's putting more shorts, I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to do a podcast to go right
yeah,
against Joe Rogan, to say that
I agree with you.
no, what he's saying is bullshit, and real people are here, and we're calling you out. We're not just your Twitter followers. We're not just this or that. That's just gonna be at your beck and call every time you drop some stupid fucking line. Okay, so for instance, just that last week, just recently, Minneapolis had a school shooting,
Yeah,
and the details are still fuzzy, but it looks like the child may have been trans or is trans or is thinking about being trans or something. So the word trans got thrown in with the school shooter, okay? And Joe Rogan grabbed onto that and he made a comment on his show and somehow linking trans people to violence, like trans people are more violent than normal people and they shouldn't get guns. And then they started chopping up this clip, and then they started blasting it all over the internet, and it was the talk of the day. It beat out Donald Trump for the day. It was about trans kids
mm.
shouldn't get guns all of a sudden, and it's all bullshit. There have been 200 school, and this is hard to say because
I
when
don't
I
even want
was
to hear it,
growing
but go
up,
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
we had Columbine, that's it.
Yeah,
But there's been 200 school shootings in America. Two of them have been linked to trans. Okay.
right. So
And it's such
1%.
a small amount. And it's a non issue. It's not even
Yeah,
something, it's not a real thing to bring up it doesn't make
no,
sense to bring it up in the equation.
no.
If it was 100% trans, if it was
Then you have something to say.
80%
Yeah,
trans, then you would say, okay, maybe there's something wrong here. Okay. But when the amount of trans shooters almost equals the same percent in the general population,
right. Yeah,
then what are
right.
we talking about here, Joe? Shut your fucking mouth. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, now he's a sociologist, he's an anthropologist, and an archaeologist, and all these other specialties, and he knows everything about every subject. And like it's to even bring that up in a situation like that. Why don't we talk about every school shooting and the fact that they do have something in common? The fact is they have a lunatic who gets a gun. That's what we got to talk about. And in
Yep.
this society, we have a lot of disturbed people. We're not addressing that. We're sure as fuck not addressing it with the big bullshit bill where we strip, our institutions of the funds they need to research and combat certain things in society. Mental health, so we can treat mental health. We're not doing that. We're not investing in that treatment. We're taking away from that treatment and taking away from that research of course, to give tax breaks. We could get into that, but we're not going to right now. The point being, we have no intention of actually solving the problem. The problem is mental health and guns. And any idiot in this country can get guns, right?
Yep.
We don't need
Yeah.
that. We
No,
don't we don't
I
need that. People who are responsible gun owners don't want to see any idiot get a gun. Yet it's
yeah.
that simple, folks.
Yeah.
It's
You
just
just
that
have to have
simple.
common sense gun laws, and it's so hard to pass because you got these Republicans that every time you try to say, look at the stats, look at the school shootings, look at this, look at that, they come back at you with some new reason, and now it's
Yeah.
because of mental health, like you said. And I've always said when somebody says that, and that's why I got such a problem with these Democrats, these stiff necks in Washington's because they don't think on their feet,
Yeah,
just
sure.
when they say that stupid shit, just say, okay, Mr. Right Wing Senator, gun person, if we're all crazy, then why are you making it easy for us to buy guns?
Yeah.
You just said we're all crazy, then why make it easy for us to buy guns? Okay, you got to make us uncrazy. That's a whole nother issue. But right now, we got a whole country full of crazy people that you
With
just called us
guns.
crazy, and I can
Yeah.
go buy a gun today, have it in my safe today, and without a license. And in Florida, I can carry conceal without a license.
Yeah. You just carry your gun, put it in your fucking belt line, cover it with a shirt. Good to
Yep.
go. You can do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
That definitely doesn't make us any safer. I mean, there's no evidence at all that people packing heat anywhere they go protects us from anything. I do know this: we're not investing in mental health. We don't take it seriously. We do not show any inclination that we care. The Republican Party certainly does not give a fuck. They serve one master, MAGA, Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's their master, whatever Trump says, and the influences are the oligarchy, people with billions of dollars that can influence the direction of politics. Yes, there are Democrats that have taken that money, but we all know it is irrefutable. The evidence, you can go online, you can pull all the evidence. It's not hard to find. Republicans take way more donations from virtually every business sector and billionaires and multinational corporations than the Democrats do. This is a fact. It's an irrefutable
Mm-hmm.
fact. You could go online and look it up. And then when it comes to guns, we all know they give next to no money to the Democrats, next to no money to any Democrat nationwide on a local or federal level. So, let's stop pretending what this is about. Uh, you know, in my heart of hearts, I could give a fuck about a gun. I don't really give a shit about guns. I don't think I'm not impressed with them. I couldn't care less. There are lots of things to do in life other than carry a piece and go down to the range and do it. But if you like that shit and you're of sound mental health, knock yourself out. Go down there and fire off rounds and try out the latest and greatest. And I couldn't give a shit less. I just don't care. But when you have a country like we do, with so many sick people, not everybody should have a gun. It should not be this easy. I would like to say, fuck it. Don't worry about it. We're Switzerland. We ain't Switzerland. We're a bunch of fucking
Yeah.
lunatics here. Okay? Till we straighten out what's going on up here societally, all these guns is nothing but a death sentence to our
Yep.
children, most of all. To our children.
Yep.
I can't tell you, listen, man, I don't want to get into it when I think about these school shootings. It's fucking horrifying. And it's scary. Okay, it's just
Yep.
scary. Not for me. No, it's not scary for me. It's not scary for you. You know, you're a grown man. It's scary to think about your kids and think about everyone else's kids and think about what goes on every day in this fucking country.
Well, I mean, it is
It's,
scary for me being a grown, father.
yeah,
So,
no, and that's what I
and
mean. It's not. I'm not
I've
worried about
already had,
myself. I'm worried
right.
about my
I mean,
kid.
I've already had those emails from schools that kids have brought guns to school, or that they've had these drills or of the shoot down or the lockdown drills.
Yeah,
And that's crazy that these kids have to live with that today.
yeah.
Um, so I want to kind of play a little bit of this is kind of a weird transition, but a little bit of a game,
A
Chris.
game,
Okay,
you
a
say?
little bit of a game.
Okay,
All right,
let's
and
go.
we're talking about how fucking stupid Joe Rogan is. Okay,
Oh,
and
yes. This sounds like a great game.
all right,
Let
and
me
so
get
I came,
lubed
and
up.
we'll see if we do all these, but like I got a bunch of comments here, okay, and some of them are true or are real comments that Joe Rogan said, and
Okay.
some of them are fake. He didn't really say them, okay. So I need you to distinguish between the real and the fake one. So it's not whether or not don't confuse it like whether or not what he is saying is that real or
Right.
fake. It's whether or not did he actually say that.
Okay. I can't
Okay.
wait to
All
hear
right.
this.
All
How
right.
many questions do we have for the audience?
8. All
8. I
right.
love it. All right.
All right.
And when we get to it, I want to know if we have a bonus round or a lightning round. If we don't, we'll do that next time.
Yeah, I might have something here. All right.
All right,
All
let's
right.
go.
So, and I'll keep score here. Do you want me to tell you the score? Like, do you want me to tell you yes, you got it right, or as we go, or
Yeah, do that. Let's do
okay.
that.
All right. All right. Trans kids are like people joining a cult. It spreads like a social contagion.
I'm going to say he said that.
He did. He did. He did. Good job, dude.
Great.
Okay. One day we're gonna find out trans people are aliens here to teach us how to evolve.
He did not say that.
He did not. He did not. But he probably could have. All right. The moon landing was probably faked in a Hollywood studio.
Yes, he said that.
He did say that. Yep. Okay. All right. Vaccines turn you magnetic. That's why your keys stick to your arm.
He did not say that.
He did not.
The moon
Trans
landing one is.
ideology is like a
Let me just
cult.
let me
Go
just
ahead.
chime in on the moon landing one. That is quintessential Joe Rogan. You take an old bullshit story that's been on the internet since the inception of the internet, and then you broadcast that so a million morons can hear that, absorb it, and go, "Oh, maybe Joe's right." The astronauts that went on there said they were on there, came back with moon rocks, took pictures from up there, have all the evidence. There were guys that died up there. None of that happened. That was
Yeah.
all in the studio, right? Sure. There's a fucking giant apparatus at Cape Canaveral to launch rockets up into space. And they did that, but they didn't go to the moon. They did all that other
Right.
shit, but they didn't go to the moon. That makes a ton of sense, Joe. But
Yeah.
continue.
He's such an idiot. Okay. Trans ideology is like a cult, like demonic possession.
I'll say yes.
Yes, he did. All
Fucking
right.
asshole.
Only 100 people actually died on 9/11. The rest is government cover up.
Um, I feel like he feels like it's a cover up. I don't know if he thinks it was 100. I'm going to say no.
No, he did not.
Okay.
You're nailing these, man. The
I'm sad
January
to say
6th
that I know
writer.
my Joe Rogan.
Yeah, yeah. You must be. Are you watching him?
Oh boy, maybe I
Dude, you're
am.
watching. You're fucking watching. All right. The January 6th rioters were just grandmas with flags.
No, he didn't say that.
He did. He
He
did.
did say that. Fucking
He did.
grandmas with flags. Is he fucking
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah. He did say that.
Any idiot could watch that footage and see who was there.
Yeah.
God damn, is he stupid?
Well, not any idiot. Not Joe Rogan.
Not any idiot.
Not any idiot. Chemtrails are government mind control experiments.
Yes, he said that.
He did say that.
Okay, so I
All
got
right, you
one
only got
wrong. I
one
was
wrong.
7 out of 8.
Yeah, yeah, you did well.
Oh my god, I feel so
Um,
dirty. Blah.
yeah,
I
but
know
like
too
just
much
some
Joe
other
Rogan,
shit, like
Mark.
he said, like the Earth is cooling. You know, he actually thinks the Earth is fucking cooling when there's human driven warming is unprecedented right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just another one. He ignores climate change completely. He believes that microchips are being inserted into people. He
Where?
believes this shit, huh?
Where though?
The COVID vaccine, that's all fucking microchips and
Oh, that
shit.
was microchips?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I got one
He
of those microchips.
he believes mass psychosis is why people got the COVID vaccine.
Wow, that's
He thinks that just people were just under some sort of government control, and that's why.
wow.
And then the last one is he uses the N word all the time, and he's been caught using it, and it's all over the place.
What?
The dude's a racist as shit.
No,
Yeah,
okay. Sounds
yeah.
like it.
So
All
anyway,
right. Well, can I put a bow on this segment?
yeah.
Fuck Joe Rogan.
Fuck Joe Rogan. He's a
Next
fucking idiot.
segment. Next segment. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
What are you thinking?
So uh, one other thing I want to talk about. There's two more topics I want to talk about here.
Yeah.
And the first one I'm going to talk about is it's honestly the first time that it's ever happened in America. And it seems to be a lot of things that Donald Trump is doing are very first that's ever happened to our Constitution, to our judicial system, to our Congress, whatever it is. It's usually a first. But this one
Mm-hmm.
happened to our news media, our crucial news media,
Okay, go ahead.
our beloved news media, the news media that you just said, is crumbling and nobody's really watching anyway. And
Yeah.
it's going to get worse. That Donald Trump has to agree to the mergers between large companies. So CBS and Paramount had a
Uh-huh.
merger recently. And
Yep.
during that merger, one of the stipulations that Donald Trump told CBS and Paramount was they had to install a mediator that reports to the government. Okay. So this mediator is going to be an employee of CBS/Paramount and be paid by CBS/Paramount, but will
Okay.
receive feedback from viewers and will receive feedback from the news and somehow channel that to the government. And from there, they're supposed to make sure that everybody is kind of aligned on the message.
That sounds, I don't want to be alarmist. That sounds a lot like North Korean state-sponsored media. Am I jumping to a conclusion there?
I mean, so it's freaking weird, dude. Because I mean, so the guy's name that is going to be doing the mediating between the government, CBS, and us, I guess, his name is Kenneth Weinstein.
All
Okay,
right, so let me start with fuck Kenneth Weinstein. I don't know who the fuck he is, but just to be involved in this, you have to be some kind of fascist shill. So fuck you, Kenneth. Continue.
so I looked up who Kenneth Weinstein was, and he was some sort of director of some sort of right wing think tank.
Of course,
Okay.
yes. Why wouldn't he
So he
be?
has right wing think tank, big business director type thing in his past. So they installed the US government had to sign off on this person being employed by a private company, and that person is there to rat on that private company to the government.
Right. Okay, so this is mind-blowing, but at this point, nothing is surprising, but everything is shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is shocking and alarming, mind-blowing. Pick your adjective or cliche, but it's not surprising because he's a fascist, and the entire administration are fascists. They all are fascists. They
Yep.
know that. That's who he wanted in there. He didn't want what he had last time, which were people with careers, knowledge, education, skill sets, dignity, integrity, some idea of what the Constitution represents. He didn't want any of those people. So what he has
No.
this time are fascists. So he has no problem enacting things like what you just described um, with a private company to essentially control what they say, and make no mistake about it. He is trying to control what they say. He got a lever over these guys, and this is his way of, hey, you want $1 billion merger? I have to approve everything you say.
But one of the weird things that I can't wrap my head around is they're making all these changes, but then these changes are going to be in place for a Democrat president when a Democrat takes place. So are they okay with a Democrat leading the conversation between the news media and the public, right? Are they
Yeah.
okay with a lot of these changes that they're making internally? Would they be okay with a Democrat having all that power? I don't think so. And that's why it's very worrisome to me that they are not going to fucking give up power very fucking easily.
No. Okay. A couple things there. Firstly, what is the purpose of the news media? Well, it used to be, Chris, Mark, and everybody else at home, used to be the news media was there to act as a check against the government. That's it. The government, not anybody else. The news media go back hundreds of years to the first newspapers, especially the first newspapers in America, a check against the government. The fourth estate is what it was called. Okay. And it needs to have impartiality, and their rights are contained within our Constitution. And now what you have in this instance sounds to me, if everything you're saying is accurate, sounds to me like we have state-sponsored media, which is what you get in China, North Korea, Russia, Iran, Cuba, all the usual suspects, Venezuela, where you do not get the truth from the government. You get propaganda, you get psychological operations 24/7 served up to you in your inbox, on your television, in your newspaper, all day, every day. So this is the first step towards that. Everything they are doing is to condition us towards living in a fascist state.
I would
What?
argue that they've already done some of that stuff. I
Oh,
mean,
they
talking about the press
100%.
pool, the White House press pool,
Yes.
where they handpick the
Sycophants.
press, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then these lawsuits, these huge lawsuits against these news agencies that they got to
Hmm.
pay out millions and millions of dollars, and that's going to scare them to ever talk against the administration
Oh,
when
yeah,
it
no doubt.
when they got to answer in a boardroom why their P&L just went down $16 million.
Yeah.
So
You're right, Mark. I mean, that's what's going on here, because the news media is no longer about reporting the facts and reporting the truth and holding people accountable, holding, speaking truth to power, to use that expression. It's about making money. And that's the only thing it's about. And these people don't care, and they're willing to sacrifice all their integrity, the integrity of all of their employees, all the reporters, journalists, and everyone else that works at these networks or for the newspapers, whatever that particular media is, and they just want money, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get that money, and even if that means paying out to Trump so that they can be assured of their revenues in the long run. That's all this is. Everything is a shakedown right now. What you are seeing in real time is a government extortion racket.
Yeah.
all day, every
Mafia.
day. That's what how he's operating. Intel. He's telling them fire the CEO, and if you don't, maybe bad things happen to you. And then what do they do? Oh, instead, here's 10% of the business.
And then he brags about it.
Listen, man, we could go on another story with that because it's just simply fucking outrageous.
All right. You know who else wants a shit ton of money? And that is, well, I almost think that you should make a shit ton of money, Chris, for that term that you coined earlier, that fucking Trumpstein.
Oh, yes.
Trumpstein.
Trumpstein.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think we need to talk about some fucking Trumpstein.
I think we need to talk about like maybe trademarking it and then selling a whole bunch of fucking merch for Trumpstein,
Yeah.
so that everyone can put the brand of Trumpstein out there into the American consciousness, because I don't feel like we know every day Trump and his minions are trying to gaslight America about what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. So why don't you go first, Mark, and I'll just respond.
Well, so the big news today was that Congress subpoenaed a private law firm for the Epstein book, the Epstein birthday book, where
Mm,
powerful people had written some handwritten, hand signed letters to
mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Epstein. And from my understanding, we don't know how many letters are in there, but one of the letters is from Donald J. Trump. And it was actually the same letter that um, Rupert Murdoch released through his
Yeah,
not Fox News,
Wall
but one of
Street
his
Journal.
other
Yeah,
outlets.
the Journal. So the Journal
That,
published
yeah,
that first a few months ago, right? Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So, but they didn't know who the source was. But the source was Jeffrey Epstein's estate, and the lawyers have been holding it, and all they had to do was to ask the lawyers for it. So Congress literally just, or they may have actually subpoenaed, but it wasn't hard to get the records. And they said, "Hey, do
That's
you
it.
have a birthday book with a letter from Donald Trump?" And they said, "Yep." And they said, "Hey, can we have that?" And they said, "Yep." And so they got it. And the Democrats took a picture of it today and posted it on Twitter. And it's the outline of a obviously young lady, it looks like,
Right. Yes.
and with pretty damning words in between where the body is, and it looks like Donald Trump's signature is the pelvic area, so it's pretty sickening, and it's real, and it's there, and the Congress has it.
And what else was in that announcement or that release today? Didn't they have something else in there with the check?
The check. Oh, I might be missing one. What was the check thing?
Okay. So, and a lot of people have seen this. Oh boy, if you thought the fucking drawing and letter from Trump was gross, and I hope I got this part of the story right. Um, the congressional Democrats or the House Democrats, they got this, and part of this book, if you will, was an excerpt was a picture of a guy named Pascal, I think, Epstein and Trump. They're holding a giant check, like one of those goofy publishers clearinghouse checks, and it said something like it was like $22,500.
Yeah.
And in it, the guy hand wrote, "This is a check for a fully depreciated woman," and redacted was the name. The name was redacted. A fully depreciated woman. Now, if I go ahead and do the math on this and process what this individual, it wasn't Epstein that wrote it. I believe it was this third piece of shit, Pascal or something like that. And I'll have to look it up. I wasn't prepared to talk about that, but I did see it early today.
No, I'm just reading about it right now.
Yeah. I'll finish my
I
thought
did
and
I
then you
did
could.
see something about that. It's just like you see so much information. It's like one thing after
Oh,
another,
I
and
know.
And I don't want to share it unless I know it's true,
100%.
and so,
Let me to that
wow.
point. Let me say, Mark, for everybody's benefit at home, if we ever say anything that is provably incorrect, unlike Joe Rogan, we will correct the record if we've said something wrong. So, for instance, this guy's name, I don't have it entirely correct, and maybe Mark can pull it up right now. I'm not able to. Um, but we will correct the record. We're not pussies, okay? And we're not fucking egomaniacs or assholes. If we're wrong about something, we'll say we're wrong about something. It's not that difficult. Back to this thing and this fully depreciated woman. I had to roll that around and do the math on that to arrive at what I think these two or these scumbags are suggesting in this letter and this encounter.
Mhm.
Uh, it's fucking horrifying, to be honest with you. I mean, it's fucking grotesque. Just like everything else with these people, it's
Thanks, dude.
grotesque.
I'm gonna have to look into that one and see what's going on. I completely missed that. That's pretty crazy. I'm sure they're gonna find more stuff.
They're going to
There's a
find
reason.
more. Look, man,
Yeah.
they're in the tip of the iceberg of this thing. And one journalist read it, and again, I wish I had my phone at in my hand to look it up and be able to give them the proper attribution. But there was an individual, it was a journalist, had the entire book, read the whole thing, and said, if you are covering for this, you are a fucking monster. A monster. If you're covering for it, never mind being involved in it.
Right.
So that's what people who have read this entire thing think about it. I'll leave
Yeah.
it at that.
Yeah. It's sickening. And it's only getting worse as more details come out. It's just more and more sickening, and you feel sorry for the victims, and you kind of just feel sorry for women in general. That obviously they can just be railroaded, and people just can just decide not to believe them, and
Yep.
that's good enough for some people. So, but
Yeah, that's the Trumpstein cover up.
yep,
Normalize it. Trumpstein cover up. Say it because that's what it is. These guys were in bed together, maybe even literally. Who the hell knows?
most
But
likely.
that's what happened here. He's involved from the very beginning. It's a massive cover up. There are people that know these women were denied their day in court. They were denied an opportunity to be heard, really heard, not just get a you know, not just get a statement from them, but like this stuff happened to them. What do you think they want to go around talking about this in public? You fucking
No,
kidding? They have lives to this shit happened 30 years ago. These are grown women with families. They want to talk about this?
right?
They're just making it up? You fucking crazy? It's like and we give no respect and no acknowledgement of that. This is why the big picture, that's what MAGA is, man. It's ignorance. MAGA is
Yep,
ignorance. Fascism is step on the little person, squash them between your toes, and whatever you say is the truth is the truth. And
yep.
that's what we're having in this country right now is we're moving towards a single source of truth like a dictatorship. Okay? That's what this guy wants. He wants to be able to just simply say, this is the truth, and that's the end of it.
And it looks like so far he's getting away with a lot of it. So, fuck, man.
He is.
But he ain't gonna get away with it. Let me tell you. But I want to end this show on like a really positive note here, Chris, because
Great. Please
I'm really fucking fired up, And there's a
talk
lot of
about it.
shit going on, a lot of shit with the world, and it's really easy to get bogged down with all of it. And we need to be in the know, and we need to know what's going on. But at some point, too, you have to say, shit. We have a fascist in the Oval Office. Now we need to switch to like what the fuck do we do about it instead of just complaining about it all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to see that momentum go to let's build a plan to do something about it. With the congressional run kicking off, we've had some really, really great feedback already. Again, if you just go to markdavisforcongress.com, you can volunteer. I think I've already had 10 different volunteers on there.
Great. Wow.
Don Lemon um, talked about or shared my information. Facebook is really taking off. X is taking off. Getting a ton of exposure, right? And that's awesome, and we're getting more and more followers. But I'm more excited to take this to the street, and I need to get my butt into the 6th district and start shaking people's hands and getting volunteers to knocking on people's doors,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where reality is, and town halls and things like that. And that is what I'm starting to see starting to form. So super excited about all the nation's momentum that we have, and then we're just gonna take that all to Florida District 6. And I honestly do not think that it's going to be much of a competition. Okay, I'm again, it might just be the universe talking. I've already told the universe I'm going to win, and when I say something, it just kind of happens, and now I just kind of
Yep.
show up. And I don't think of it as work at this point. I'm just showing up and doing what I love, and what I love is trying to save fucking America right now. So
Yep.
I've just
Dude,
got
I
a ton of
appreciate
energy,
that.
and I'm fucking ready to go, man.
Mark, I think that's awesome point. I guess there's that expression that says 80% of life is just showing up, something like to that
Yeah.
effect. So, um, being present, being committed to it, in an authentic, wholehearted way, and Mark really means this. Mark really is here to put in the work and help save America from fascism. And look, there's people out there, you think it's hyperbole. It's not hyperbole. It is simply not hyperbole. When people are getting snatched off the streets, they decided yesterday in the Supreme Court, and we could go on about it, that you can look at somebody, if they look brown enough, they look ethnic enough, they look like they have an accent, you could snatch them, you could take them. So that stuff is real in America. You need people like Mark. You need people like Mark. There are plenty of us out there. There are others. Admire Mark. I admire all of you who are out there fighting the good fight, because we need you right now. Everybody, there's not enough Americans understand the gravity of the situation. That's really what compelled us to do this show, is to try to, in our own way, convey the gravity of the situation to regular Americans. We're nobody special. We have families, we have lives, we have responsibilities. There's nothing special about me or Mark, other than the fact that we care about what happens to this country and what we see going on. This is not even, when you say like it, and MAGA wants to couch it as political, like there's the both sides thing. There's the left, there's the right. There's fascism, there's democracy. You can pick. Right now, we're going this way. Okay? That's all I have to say about it. I appreciate Mark. I appreciate all of you people out there fighting from Los Angeles to New York City and everywhere in between, fighting for democracy. So I'm going to end it on that note. Mark, thank you very much. Thank you, listeners and
Thank
viewers.
you.
We can't do this without you. We really appreciate it. Join us again soon for another episode of Dad Bods and Bad Attitudes, because we will be back.